Yo everybody, today we're going to be photographing this pocket knife. It's got a really cool story behind it and I'm excited to share how I lit it and approached this shoot. So let's get into it. So first things first, I had to get on the internet and start doing some research. Now, mind you, at this point, I've already gone to Blade Show. I bought this knife from the maker, the designer, or at least one of them, and got to know them a little bit. But I still had to do some research, figure out some visual language, and see exactly what this blade was about. So that's what I did. Then I just started to really inspect the knife, look at it, and figure out, okay, how do I want to light this and what will tell the story? So that's what I'm exploring today. It's a little all over the place, so just stick with me. I cut my thumb too. That's always fun. But let's see what I'm thinking. All right, so this is what I've come up with. It's not exactly clear because I can't shade with a pencil very well, but basically this is the knife hovering above a surface. Underneath it is going to be, so imagine this is top down. Underneath it is going to be a bunch of like rocks and pebbles kind of subtly in the background. And then I'm going to have these lines here, and I think I could use my little light. I have like a wire that glows. I could maybe use that to kind of make these PLEXUS connections. So that's the idea. Might be a little bit tricky, but gotta get to building the set. So my first idea was to levitate the knife on a glass surface above everything, but that just ended up causing weird reflections. There's my little helper there. And I wanted to have rocks in there, but that didn't work out either. It was just too busy, so I had to simplify. Quick change in plans. I have the 50 millimeter on, so I'm really close to the lens. But the glass table idea isn't going to work just because of the obstruction of the glass creating reflections with how I'm going to light it and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and glue some acrylic rods to the bottom of the knife to kind of hopefully hold everything up. So, all right, here's what I came up with. Glued it onto the knife at a balance point, kind of stuck it into some foam core. And I had to cut this acrylic rod on the right just a little shorter because the handle thickness I think is going to work pretty good. Here's the top view. That's what I'm going for. And I still haven't lit anything. This is just reflecting the lights in my room. It still looks pretty good, which is kind of funny. Addie had these lights in her kit. They're like kind of decorative and they kind of give a PLEXUS vibe almost. So I wonder if I can arrange them somehow in the background to make them look really nice. We'll have to see. It's a little random. I'm not sure if I want it to be more structured or not, so I might experiment with that. So I just took the node stuff and taped the wires across the baseboard. That's basically it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start lighting here soon. So this is the final setup. There's actually two photos I had to take. I had to composite it. So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like really quick. So the camera obviously is top down. And then I've got a light here. Actually, let's just turn this on so you guys can see exactly what's happening. Turning off all my lights. So this is straight out of camera right there. And this is set up right now to catch the bottom edge of the blade. This light is creating that reflection. So before I had it down right here next to the camera and that was capturing the light on top. So I just composited those two images together. But that's basically a setup. So what it is a velvet panel on the backdrop so that it's nice and dark. The blade is suspended about 12 inches off of the surface just to separate from the background. Then I've got this strand of little like LED lights to kind of create the PLEXUS, and I ended up just photoshopping the crap out of it, but at least I had a reference for reality. And then I've got these little aperture MCs here, and these are just creating the hits on the edge of the blade. So they're creating the nice little highlights on the actual sharpened edge. So that's essentially the setup. It's really simple, no light modifiers. No scrims, actually. Just the way that this is designed, I wanted to show a lot of texture. Definitely one of the trickiest from a creative standpoint, just to kind of show what is a PLEXUS. And a PLEXUS is a very complex thing, and I just don't have the resources to capture it all in camera, so it required Photoshop. But those are the real lights. They're just photoshopped. While I'm photoshopping all this stuff and just showing you some explorations in post, I wanted to share just quickly a brief story about the knife makers because it's really cool actually. So Israel is the guy who runs Arcane Design, and he is just really precise in the way that he builds his knives. But he partnered on this knife with a guy named Elijah Isham. And Elijah, unfortunately, is no longer with us. He passed away earlier this year. But he created knives that were incredible. They were like nothing anyone's ever seen before. created off of like sci-fi, you know, monsters and creatures and stuff like that. And so them coming together was just this perfect amalgamation of this knife, and I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave Israel's information down below, as well as Elijah, so you can check out their work. It's really amazing, and this is actually the very last knife Elijah worked on, I believe. So it's pretty cool to have this in my collection, and it is a collector's item. There's one of 100 or 550, and I got number 317, I believe. So it's pretty amazing, and yeah, just cool stuff. So I wanted to share that. So ultimately, I ended up just going with a very simple idea of keeping the background minimal, and even this that I'm showing you right now isn't the final. I ended up dimming the lights a lot because they were just distracting from the actual blade. So I will show the final image here in just a second. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them down in the comments below. And I look forward to bringing you back for the next one. Bye.